It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. We're glad to have you with us on 2K Sport. In this game, we'll see the San Antonio Spurs going up against the New York Knicks. For the Knicks, a win tonight would make it 3 victories in their first 4 games of the season. That would be a nice little run to start the year. You look at LaMarcus Aldridge and all that he's been able to do in his career. While he might not be the best power forward in the game, he's certainly top 3. What do you think, Kenny?
Well, on certain nights, he's the best. You know, he does things and has a skill set that's a nightmare matchup. A lot of guys can't do that. 2010 is just a regularity for him, but the way he gets it, you know, the true power forward of the golden era when they used to shoot on the baseline, that's him, and he does that.
You know, his favorite shot was the pick and pop around the free throw line area, but he's added a three-pointer to his game and now could step back, stretch out the defense. It's stretch 4 to what he is now.
Can you imagine if you had added a three-pointer to your game, Shaq?
I didn't need it, Ernie.
Can you imagine if you had added a three-pointer to your game?
Didn't need it, Ernie.
But can you imagine if you had?
Didn't need it, Ernie.
Is this going to be repeated?
Kenny, can you imagine if he had added that to his game?
He didn't need it, Ernie. He did not need it.
I don't need this either. We'll be back later.
Live from New York at the home of the Knicks, it's the NBA. Looking at the last game for the New York Knicks, it was a win against the Wizards in Washington. It was just a textbook performance. That game was all theirs. Once they got it going, it was full speed ahead.
How about the rhythm they got into offensively there? That no doubt in my mind what the result was going to be once they started to click.
Really impressive, partner, because they simply put it on cruise control.
It'll be the Knicks off the tip. Porzingis passes to Calderon. Lopez outside. To the paint. Here's Porzingis. It's rebounded by Aldridge. Last game for the Spurs, they picked up the W against the Boston Celtics.
How about the energy level defensively in that game? I mean, they made finding an open shot a very difficult task for their opponents.
And it wasn't just in the half court. I mean, I thought they were excellent in transition defense as well. They didn't give up any easy baskets because they always had good floor balance and got back after the miss.
A look at the San Antonio Spurs opening lineup. The always reliable Parker and Green in the backcourt. Aldridge out there with Kawhi Leonard. And it's Duncan in at center.
And one thing that everybody loves about Coach Pop is his frankness. You get a taste of it in interviews, but he's as honest and straightforward with you as he is with anybody else.
He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. And he's on his way to the free throw line.
Just the height separation on that mid-range jumper. Excellent job of taking advantage.
Well, you've got Greg Popovich, and I think he puts this at times grumpy demeanor in a more of a spotlight. He's playing along, as we all know, with the sideline reporters. He knows, Greg, you know this firsthand, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. He can be as compassionate a person, Clark, that you and I have ever been around.
Yeah, he's competitive, but he understands that we're all human, and he treats people the right way all the time.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Now, here's Calderon. And it's Lopez at the elbow. To the paint, and stolen by Aldridge. Parker with it. And he gets it to go. Parker's got his first 2 points of the night.
Wow, what quickness, Kevin. He may be a small guy, but his speed makes it awfully tough to stay in front of him.
Outside Anthony. Lopez sets a screen for Anthony. Inside. Lopez kicks to Anthony. New York, no good that time either.
Oh, that's a tough three-point try when you've got the defense right there.
Well, he'd have to be really good to knock down a shot like that against that kind of defense.
First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Shoots from the right block. Shot is off. Good D by Lopez. For New York, they've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game.
I mean, the Knicks were bad last year, and it became evident early on. As the season grew older, more and more of their national coverage games were being pulled.
Green, the screen. Parker kicks to Aldridge. Lets it go from 11. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. For New York, they've gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Calderon dishes to Vujacic. Here's Porzingis. 9-point game his last outing. Ball's knocked loose. Calderon against Parker. First quarter of play and just over 3.5 minutes in.
And trying to come up with the highlight reel finish, somebody forgot to finish it.
Now the pass to Porzingis. His three-pointers off the mark. And for the Spurs, they're shooting in this first quarter around 38%. They're looking a bit creaky out there. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Can't be any surprise to you that Tim Duncan, folks, last year became the leading rebounder of all active players, passed up Kevin Garnett for that honorable distinction. We're talking 15,000 rebounds total over 18 seasons.
This is his first trip to the line tonight. No good on the free throw. Getting back to Duncan's rebounding, he's always had the great size and wingspan and timing, and he really positions himself well for those rebounds. But what seems to separate him is his quiet toughness. He'll never back down.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, he's not a guy that's going to yell or pump his fist. He's not going to flex his muscles to the crowd. He just silently assassinates you
well said.
out on the floor.
You're right. You're so right.
And you know what? Last season, Tim Duncan added another record to his growing resume. I mean, he passes Karl Malone as the all-time leader in double-doubles.
New York, no good that time either.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted, and really, I like the movement and communication there.
It's rebounded by New York. With Duncan in the double-doubles record, it says so much about just how he has delivered on the floor, Clark, for so long.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, double-doubles didn't get recorded until fairly recently. Don't let that take away from what Duncan has accomplished. He's one of the all-time greats.
San Antonio leading. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, earlier I had a chance to speak with Greg Popovich. He told me that he's looking forward to this matchup. Their first look at this team so far this season. He said they'll look to play up defensively. As usual, their length and shot blocking a great deterrent inside. Kevin?
Terrific, Doris. Thanks, guys. What's your take on that?
You know, I think it's probably the way to go. The defensive approach suits their style and their personnel. So I think you go with it.
Yeah, and you stay true to your identity, and theirs is clearly at the defensive end.
Textbook. Nice pass, great catch, even better finish.
Knicks trail by 3. Here's Galloway. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Thomas passes to O'Quinn. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet.
Room service delivery right there, fellas. Wonderful entry feed.
The Spurs shooting 36% in this first quarter, trying to get their bearings. Here's Mills. Misses off the left iron. Vujicic kicks to Williams. Takes the three. The shot is off. 1 second left. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. It's the Spurs leading by just 1. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. And Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, very demanding. Throughout the years, he was hardest on his point guard, Tony Parker. And here's what Parker had to say about that.
My first 3-4 years, it was tough sometimes. Sometimes, like, eyes watered. I was, like, really angry, and it was tough at times. Definitely very hard on me early in my career.
Even though it seems like that was a very long time ago now, to hear Tony Parker talk about it now, it still sounds very fresh to him.
Did he acknowledge, Kevin, that he cried?
It sounds like it, yeah.
The game made him cry. That's one of the things fans forget about with professional athletes. No matter how successful they get, players never forget that pain and frustration or those other emotions they've gone through to help get them to where they are.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And guys, what's your take on the Spurs so far?
Really active hands early on here as they're able to acquire several steals.
Well, they've really been aggressive guys on defense, and it's paid off, so why stop? Keep it up.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. And New York looking at who they've got. Williams is out there with Anthony. Then there's Calderon, and it's Galloway in at the point. Now here's Williams. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Chance there to take the lead. Missing.
You know, one of the unsung things about Danny Green is his team defense. I mean, he flies around that end of the court, and his instincts usually put him in the right position to make a play.
And plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. Well, getting back to Danny Green, he has an unusually good knack at doubling down on the block. Then if the ball is kicked outside, he's still able to get out to the shooter and run him off the spot. You don't talk about his defense that much, but I'll tell you who does. Greg Popovich.
That's a great point, Kevin. And you also see Green come up with some timely weak side blocks, strips. He'll jump in passing lanes. He's a sneaky important part of what they do on the defensive end.
The Knicks making a switch here. Lopez is checked in. He's off on the second.
And you really got to admire Boris Diaw. I mean, he's found a way to kind of reform his game as he's gotten older. I mean, so different than when he was new to the league.
Here's Galloway. Back to Calderon. Off the pick. And it's wide right. It's off the rim. One-on-one fast break. Here's Parker. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili. Parker's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Well, that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, nice job there, Greg. Recognizing the opportunity was there to push it, and then excellent execution.
Now here's Calderon. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Anthony. Great D that time from Green. Diaw lost his athleticism and is a slower player than before. You could argue he's more productive now, though, Clark, than ever.
Well, his game was always on the ground in my mind. He's highly skilled. He's much more cerebral on the floor than given credit. I mean, I think he is really a difficult matchup because he's crafty, he's tough, and he's experienced and skilled.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far. A room service dime by Jose Calderon.
Parker kicks to Diaw. Drills the three-pointer. And the Spurs lead by 5.
And they've got to talk to each other on D there. Miscommunication, and now he's able to make them pay.
Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Galloway kicks to Calderon. He feeds it to Lopez. Score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
You know, that's been a big part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range, right at the rim.
And Clark, they might as well keep doing it. I mean, attack the basket until the defense makes an adjustment.
Here's Ginobili following the score by New York. Diaw with a wide open look. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili. Diaw's got the lead up to 5 now for San Antonio. The Knicks have gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%.
And the Spurs last season became the first franchise to hire a female assistant coach. A big step, not just for the Spurs, but really for all of the NBA.
In transition, here come the Spurs. Ginobili can't hit.
And give it up for the little fella on the inside there. Great rebound, even though he had to really fight for it.
And it's Anthony with the jam.
And guys, this game won't be close for long if they keep giving up dunks like that.
No, it won't, G.A. You're right. A glaring error defensively and letting him get all the way to the basket that time.
But it's only 2 points. I mean, it was flashy, no doubt, but still, it only counts for 2. 2 is all.
And listen, San Antonio is an older team, actually the oldest in the league last season. And because of injuries and days off, they didn't get to feel that preferred starting 5 a lot last year.
Catching up on the changes for New York. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Lopez. Porzingis comes in for Derek Williams. Lance Thomas, he's checked in for Anthony. And it's Vujacic in for Jose Calderon. Here's Galloway. He dishes it to O'Quinn. Here's Porzingis, uses the glass to finish the layup. Porzingis has got his first points of the game. Spurs only used their preferred lineup less than half the season, but still a strong campaign. 22 games played with the starting lineup of Parker, Green, Leonard, Duncan, and Splitter.
And you know the Spurs will go on to use 23 different starting lineups, Kevin. That would be the 5th most in the NBA.
Knicks trail by 3. Here's Galloway. He kicks to Vujacic. Fires for 3. That's good, and so Galloway with the assist. Vujacic has got 5.
Such a height mismatch out on the perimeter, and they give up the triple.
The feed to West. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Well, David West's usage and overall numbers have ticked away with time. He's still as efficient as ever.
Yeah, not the over 50% field goal guy he used to be, but still a valuable contributor on the block.
And for West, a lot of what he brings to the table is just professionalism, leadership, and a real example of how to get the most out of what you've got. He keeps everybody on the team focused, too. When he speaks, guys listen.
A different look for New York. Anthony comes in for Porzingis, and it's Calderon in for Langston Galloway. And David West drops them both.
West, guys, still very strong as a player, but clearly it's his leadership that sets him apart. Does all those little intangibles that help teams win games.
Now here's Calderon. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Anthony on the wing. Calderon dishes to O'Quinn. Back to Calderon. New York moving the ball around. Anthony, the pass to Calderon. Here's O'Quinn, and finally they hit one. O'Quinn's got it all tied up now for New York.
The game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding has been the one differentiator thus far.
And, Greg, we've seen it time and time again in games. Effort and determination on the glass can make up for a lot of other weaknesses.
And the Knicks with possession here. After the basket by San Antonio. Outside Thomas. Pass to Anthony. Down low. It's stolen by West. Now Mills launches it. No good. And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. Spurs lead by 2. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Coach Popovich, a strong first half for you. Was the up-tempo pace part of the game plan?
Well, we've upped the pace. That's what we need to do because we're not as good a defensive team as we used to be, so something's got to give somewhere.
Pop, thanks for the time, guys.
All right, Doris, thank you, and stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. A pretty close game for the Spurs throughout the first quarter. They were able to squeeze ahead by the end of the period with just a 1-point lead. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. Kenny, what was your take on San Antonio?
Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. The 3 E's, Shaq. That's all I got to say. They've avoided turning the basketball over, and that's a recipe for success. Now, here's how they do it. By sacrificing the highlight reel plays, you get good looks, and those home run plays will still come.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on New York?
Their transition game was really strong. It really fueled them, gave them a big injection of energy into their offense. If they can maintain that fast style in the second half, they got a great chance to take control of this game.
And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter to begin. We will see you after the final buzzer.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. Look at Tony Parker. What a contribution.
Yeah, he was in attack mode from the word go. Came out very aggressively in that first half.
Take a look at his shot chart. It looks like the ink spilled right at the rim. No reason for him to settle for anything less.
Here's who Greg Popovich is starting in the second half. Parker and Green are the guard pairing. Aldridge out there with Duncan. And it's Leonard in at the small forward. And that one's good. Duncan.
Boy, for the Knicks last season, saying it was rough is an understatement. There was a lot of turbulence, and some of it was due to their defense. They just had a difficult time stringing together stops and cutting down opponents' scoring chances.
Here's Vujicic following the basket by Tim Duncan. Vujicic kicks to Williams. 5 to shoot. And a miss there on the triple. Spurs leading by 4. Parker dishes to Green. Feeds to Aldridge. The three-pointer is right on target. Aldridge has got his third bucket of the night. Over the Knicks last season, Greg, the defense a problem for him, specifically how they defended against perimeter shots, and in particular the three.
38%, Kevin, of the threes against them went in. That was by far the worst in the league, and it's a big reason why they would end the year with the worst margin of victory in the NBA. How about minus 9.3?
Vujicic, and the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, heard the whistle and then kept his focus and able to still knock it down.
And, Greg, to be able to take the bump like that and maintain control, that's not easy to do. I know you're kind of a little fella, but I was a big guy when I played, so I know how difficult that is. That was impressive.
I see.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
Listen, the Knicks had a hard time scoring last year, just lacked any real presence in the paint, and lacking that paint threat makes things easier for the opposing defense.
Now Calderon. Kawhi Leonard missing from long range. Puts it up, and it comes off the front of the rim.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
You know, with the Knicks, they were second to last in field goal percentage from their front court. Granted, they were hit by injuries. It seemed like all over the place all season.
Yeah, you know, with that poor field goal percentage shooting and being top 3 in field goal attempts on the year, not a good combination.
And he makes the first.
Well, how about LaMarcus Aldridge in this one? He has 8 points, and he's put 1 three-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage from beyond the arc.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And for LaMarcus Aldridge, always praised for his terrific shooting. His rebounding, as we know, Greg, has always been fantastic. Over the past 2 seasons, he's averaged double-digit boards.
And that's why so many teams wanted him in this last free agency period. His ability to put points on the board as well as clean the boards. What a deadly combination.
Lopez, no luck.
And they're 1 of 4 here to start the second half.
Here's Leonard. That falls, nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili. Ginobili's got 3 assists now in this one.
You know, on the topic of Aldridge's rebounding, I mean, he doesn't do it by banging people around. He does it with positioning, timing, and length. And you can say that about most of his game. Quietly, effective, and impactful.
Porzingis, he's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. Boris Diaz checked in for San Antonio. Knicks trail by 9.
And guys, going back to Aldridge, last season was a difficult one for him. He had the torn ligament in his left thumb, but still fought through it to become the Blazers' all-time leader in rebound. Yeah, the offense scuffling a bit to start this second half. Only 1 for the first 5.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Diaz. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark.
And Kevin, the knack for the offensive rebound are a big part of what makes this guy special.
Not to mention, Greg, his ability to finish with strength just like that.
Yeah, he's an invaluable asset for them to have. No question about it.
Lopez a screen. New York moving the ball around. For 3, Calderon. Count the bucket.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Now here's Ginobili. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change.
And there isn't a lot that they're doing well right now defensively. They just seem to be disconnected defensively in the second.
Here's Calderon. Pass to Porzingis. Here's the dish to Vujacic. Passes it to Porzingis. Clock at 6. New York needs to get off a shot. Calderon, that's good.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists. And guys, Porzingis was almost a rookie last season, but he opted to pull out of the early entry and wait a year for this past summer's draft. Seems to have worked out for him as far as how his draft stock has changed.
For the Knicks, Kyle O'Quinn is checked in for Lopez, and it's Lance Thomas in for Derek Williams. The Spurs also changing it up. West comes in for Boris Diaw, and it's Mills in for Daniel Green. Now here's Mills. And here's Leonard. Dishes to West. Here's Marjanovic. It's rebounded by Porzingis.
And this is why you need good defenders on the interior to contest shots.
Yeah, Greg, making every shot a hard one, even the shots in close.
Here's Porzingis. Calderon passes to O'Quinn. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. And now let's have a look at the teams that were last year's best from the free throw line. In fourth, the Spurs.
Collectively, I mean, they had an amazing year at the free throw line. Sometimes free throw shooting can be contagious, and it seemed like everyone on their team had the hot hand.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Blue shots.
The first free throw is good. And so he hits both.
There are certain things, guys, that you can always count on in life. Death, taxes, and of course the Spurs winning 50 games in the regular season. Happened for the 16th straight season last year.
Now here's Mills. It's Ginobili on the wing. Releases from 15. They get it again. A second chance effort, and it's good on the layup.
How about the perseverance there, the extra effort on that offensive glass?
1:02 left in the third. Well, keeping in mind the Spurs have won 50 games or more for many years in a row, Greg, there are teams out there who can drive cars who have not even seen the Spurs not win 50 games at least in a year.
And the way the Spurs keep on building this team, it's not as if that streak's going to end anytime soon. Those kids might have a chance to vote and do much more before they fail to see the Spurs win 50 games.
Oh, that's blocked. Now here's Calderon. He's got 5. The pass to Porzingis. The three-pointer no good. Spurs leading by 6. Kicks to Leonard. Wide open. That falls. Nice feed that time from Manu Ginobili. Ginobili's got his 4th assist in this one. New York's gone 1 of 4 in three-point shots here in the third. Out to the right wing. Here's Porzingis. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
The Knicks have made 2 and missed 2 at the line tonight.
And their numbers from the line last season, they're good, just not great. About 77% as a team.
Yeah, they had the kind of success from the line that would make any coach breathe a sigh of relief, guys.
And he makes the first but misses the second. And Mills kicks to Parker. Anthony with the block. And we've reached the end of the third. It's the Spurs leading by 7. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute.
Respect this here. Check.
Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play should begin momentarily. Knicks trail by 7. They've got Anthony. Robin Lopez out there with Williams. Then it's Vujacic. And it's Calderon in at the point guard position. So that's who's on the floor for the Knicks. Tony Parker grabs the miss.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm. That's a quick bucket there. Solid in transition.
Well, you know, he loves the chance to get out and run, and we could see right there why he does.
And, of course, Tony Parker, so big for San Antonio in those championship runs. But word on the street was that Spurs coach Greg Popovich didn't always go easy on Tony. He really pushed him to the limit.
You know, it started back when Tony was invited to the Spurs summer camp before the 2001 draft. One of the scouts was really physical with Tony, really gave him a hard time, and that was really the start of his maturation process in learning to deal with the NBA.
Now here's Calderon. 4 on the clock. From 11 feet away, shot is off. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Parker dishes to Green. And we've played through about a minute here in the fourth. There's a good screen. Parker kicks to Aldridge. The fader. And it's good on the assist by Parker. Parker's got 4 assists now tonight.
And, you know, getting back to Popovich's relationship with Tony Parker, Pop made the decision to draft Parker. So he obviously saw something. But Pop's a perfectionist, and if you're going to play point guard for him, you've got to deliver consistently.
Now here's Lopez. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
And that's what the pump fake's there for. Get your man off his feet and drive right around him.
San Antonio leading by 10.
And talking about Tony Parker, Pop's tough love with him really paid off. Tony eventually became incredibly consistent, culminating with him being named the Finals MVP back in '07.
Now here's Leonard. From about 16, Carmelo Anthony grabs the board. Knicks have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Calderon passes to Carmelo. Outside Williams. He feeds it to Lopez. They get the rebound. The kick out to Williams. From downtown, Anthony's shot is off. Spurs have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Parker dishes to Leonard. Duncan outside. He kicks it to Parker. Misses the 3.
You know, even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
No doubt about it. The defense, you can see him exhaling right now. Fortunate that he didn't knock that one down.
And the Knicks making a change here. Thomas is checked in, and San Antonio with the change here too. Ginobili's checked in.
Yeah, saw some things that just weren't working for them and wants to make some adjustments.
Yeah, and no reason to wait around to do that, Greg. I mean, might as well make those adjustments right away.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Kurt Rambis had to say to the team. He didn't exactly take it easy on them, saying, how much do you want it? Don't tell me. Show me out there. We have to play better. We have to play harder if we're going to come back. Guys?
And as always, Doris, thank you. Deflects the pass, and stolen by Aldridge. Parker kicks to Ginobili. Back to Parker. And Duncan with the basket on the assist by Parker. And the Spurs lead by 12. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Spurs.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
Here's Vujicic following the basket by Tim Duncan.
And you know what? He's just not on his game. No doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
Now, here's Parker. Ginobili outside. Ice ball movement by San Antonio. It's Parker with the drive. And it's Parker again missing.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Lopez passes to Calderon. Thomas a screen. Calderon kicks to Vujicic. New York, no good that time either.
One made 3 formed for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
Goes up the baseline, and he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. And that's 13 points for Aldridge.
And that kind of sums up the defensive effort we've seen here tonight, guys.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. Vujicic dishes to Lopez. Fades, and he gets the bucket. Lopez has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, he certainly isn't the one to blame for them being in the hole. He's been on the money with his game.
The San Antonio Spurs, a team that has had such a strong core and is so disciplined, Clark, it's hard to see them struggle, even think of them struggling, even on the road.
Well, you know, last season they did have trouble at times on the road, but 22-19, still not too bad.
Porzingis, he's checked in for the Knicks. Anthony comes in for Derek Williams. Ginobili kicks to Aldridge. Puts it up from 7, misses off the left iron. Knicks trail by 12.
And for the Spurs on the road, it was the scoring. They were so good at home, but scored 8.5 points less per game on the road. That was the biggest margin in the NBA. And at this point, just sort of running through the paces as it appears it'll be a nice win here for San Antonio.
You're right there, Steve. And one area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, Clark, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
Well, it deflates the opposition when you can be pesky defensively, and then it sparks your offense, and that's what happened for them. When you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's hard to overcome that kind of defensive pressure.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And that next meeting, Greg, will be their second and final game of the season series, being in opposite conferences. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in a 2-game season series. So I think the next game will be hotly contested.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for LaMarcus Aldridge. Just an outpouring of points from him. Nobody could do much to keep him from dropping it in.
Here's Galloway. Boris Diaw picking up that last basket. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Grant outside. Lets it go from deep. Rebound San Antonio. Diaw with it. He dishes it to Mills. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
David, what is it you like about the way this team is playing right now?
You know, we're just defending. I think we're playing together, making extra pass. Every NBA game is a different challenge, so again, we just got to come ready to compete. You know, guys are taking pride in their preparation.
David, thank you as always, guys. What a culture they've established here.
Doris, thank you as always. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. Now time to send you over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson for the postgame show with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Kevin, much appreciated. And now let's present our Jordan player of the game, LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, he showed us just how good he can be when he's at the top of his game. And the building was stunned. You saw people leaving early, throwing popcorn, throwing hot dogs, spilling soda. He put on a CSDP, a crowd shut down performance. Man, that's what I'm talking about, Ernie.
When LaMarcus Aldridge gets rolling, it's always going to be a tough night for the opposing team. He is about as complete as you can get on the low block. And there are very few power forwards in the NBA that can run the floor as well as he does. He's a franchise player, plain and simple. And they just couldn't come up with an answer for him tonight.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for this evening. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson saying good night. And we'll see you again soon, but not soon enough.